My name is Ivy Bennett. I'm 31. I work as a senior financial officer at a housing nonprofit in Oregon. I got the message while standing next to the office printer, watching it jam for the third time that day. Half a cold cup of coffee, one unopened granola bar, a spreadsheet blinking unsaved changes. It was a group text, no greeting, no name, just, "We think you should take a step back for now. Let us handle the fund." And underneath, my sister reacted with a sparkle emoji. I stared at the screen for 12 full minutes. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. 5 years of managing every dollar, every invoice, every tax filing, every emergency transfer. Now I was dismissed like a temp who'd overstepped. I didn't respond right away. I logged into the account, unlinked every auto payment, revoked every authorization, then typed a single line, "Understood, fund access removed." Receipts are archived. No one asked if I was okay. No one called, but 3 days later, a letter showed up at my office, certified mail from an independent auditor. Inside, a discrepancy report, 17 flagged transactions, all personal purchases, all traced back to an account that still bore my name. I didn't panic. I didn't cry. I just reached into the drawer under my desk, pulled out a sealed envelope marked "If they ever forget." Inside it, a flash drive, and a spreadsheet that told the truth they thought I'd never keep. I didn't realize it at first, not when I covered the rent, not when I paid the overdraft, not when I said yes again and again while they smiled and changed the subject. But then came the text. "Megan, do you think the fund can cover a yoga retreat? Arizona. $3,200. It's for my mental health." I was on the subway, standing, holding a paper bag with a single orange and a microwave burrito inside. The Wi-Fi cut out before I could read the rest. When it came back, there it was. "Dad, sounds like something you really need." "Mom, no one asked if the fund had that kind of money. No one asked if I did. They didn't even ask me. Because to them, I wasn't a person. I was a pipeline." That night, I sat on the kitchen floor. The light above me flickered like it couldn't decide whether to die or not. I was eating stale cereal with a measuring spoon. All my real ones were in the dishwasher. And I hadn't turned the dishwasher on in 3 weeks, because the electricity bill was due. I looked down at my phone, 3 new messages, 2 from Megan, 1 from Mom, all asking for the same thing: "Let me know when it goes through." Not if. When. That was the night I knew. They weren't using me. They expected me to be used. They never thanked me, but they always called me responsible. I used to think that was respect. It was code for, "She'll handle it." When the car broke down, me. When the card declined, me. When the late fees piled up, me. But not once did they say, "We trust you." Only, "Here's the password." I kept the account running. Bills, prescriptions, repairs, even the Wi-Fi when they said it glitched. It didn't glitch, it got shut off. I knew every login, every reset code, every secret question they never bothered to change. The account was in my name because no one else wanted to deal with the taxes, the paperwork, the liability. They called it a family fund. But it was just me. Me, patching holes in a sinking boat while everyone else danced on deck. And when I started asking questions, "Where's this charge from? Why is there a Venmo to Tyler? Who bought plane tickets?" they said I was being negative. "Money isn't everything," my sister snapped. "No, money isn't everything. But it's the only time you talk to me." One night I checked the ledger. Total contributions from them, $0. Total reimbursements, $0. Total acknowledgement, still $0. That's when I finally saw it. It wasn't a fund, it was a leash. And I was the one who tied it around my own neck. 3 days after I shut it all down, the office line rang. Not my cell, not the family group, the landline. The one no one calls unless it's official. My assistant peeked in, eyes wide. "There's a man on the phone, says he's your father." I took it, Ivy. His voice was thin, like a wire stretched too far. "What happened?" "The bank's frozen everything. They flagged the fund. Are you okay?" He asked if I was okay. After 5 years, after 100 invoices. After I sold my car and walked to work to keep his mortgage afloat, I said exactly one sentence. I'm honoring your decision. Silence, then static. Then a sigh I knew too well, the sound he made right before blaming someone. You didn't have to go that far. I looked at the screen. 15 browser tabs open. 12 were from the IRS. The other 3 were guides on how to report financial abuse within families. No, I didn't have to go that far. But they did. They set up a family Zoom, said it was just a talk. But when I joined, their faces were already lined up, like a jury that had voted before the trial. Dad pacing, Mom in pearls, Megan fake crying, and Aunt Lynn with a notebook like she was mediating a custody case. No one smiled. Why would you do this to us? Megan said first, voice soft, practiced, like she was reading lines. I waited. Then I said calmly, after I paid your rent, your therapist, your rehab, what exactly did I do to you? She blinked, that's not fair. I nodded, fair. Then I reached beside me and clicked share screen. The spreadsheet filled the screen. Rows, dates, amounts, notes, rent, insulin, bounced checks. When $120 Uber to get Mom to the ER at 2 a.m., even the yoga retreat, which I hadn't approved, but had been marked pending. Aunt Lynn gasped. Mom's lips parted. Dad looked down. Megan, you've been tracking us. No. I said, I've been surviving you. No one moved. The only sound was the faint hum of someone's ceiling fan. Then I clicked to the final tab. Total. $87,214. $36. Dad stepped back like I'd slapped him. Mom whispered, you kept tabs on your own family. I didn't flinch. You kept tabs on my account. I kept receipts. Megan raised her voice. You want applause for acting like an adult? I didn't raise mine. No, I want a boundary. Then I ended the screen share and sat still. No one said a word, not because they understood, but because, for the first time, they couldn't pretend not to. 2 days after the Zoom call, I got a certified envelope. No return address, just the seal of a bank. Inside, notice of suspicious activity. Someone had tried to open a business loan. $80,000, under my name, with my social, and the tax ID tied to the family fund. The business, Megan Grace Recovery Services, LLC. There was no business, no license, no location, just a PDF packet with a forged signature. Mine and 2 co-signers, Mom and Dad. I sat there, didn't scream, didn't throw anything. Just opened a drawer, pulled out an envelope labeled emergency only. Inside, printouts, screenshots. A saved message from Megan months ago. What if we set up a nonprofit under your name? It'll look better for donors. I sent everything to the fraud department, then the police, then the IRS. Every report I filed felt like a breath I hadn't taken in years. They didn't just want my help. They wanted my silence. They wanted the account closed, but my name left on it, to keep draining it, until the bank came after me. It wasn't neglect, it was a plan. A week passed, then the thick envelope came. White, unmarked, bank logo in the corner, inside. A flagged loan application. $80,000, filed under my name. Business purpose, Megan Grace Recovery Services, LLC. A company that didn't exist. No license, no address, no phone number, just a tax ID, my social. A forged signature, and 2 co-signers, Dad, Mom. I didn't cry, didn't shake. I just stood at my kitchen sink, holding the envelope, while the kettle behind me started to scream. I let it scream. Then I pulled out the folder, the one I kept behind my lease. Notebooks, screenshots, text messages. One from Megan, dated 8 months ago. If we set something up under your name, it'll pass approval faster. I sent it all to the fraud department, to the police, to the IRS. I didn't write an email, I wrote an affidavit. I listed every transaction, every pattern, every time they said, it's just a family thing, no need for paperwork. Turns out there was. They hadn't just drained me. They tried to pin the debt on me, disappear, let the fallout hit my credit. My name, my record. They thought I'd be too tired to fight. They were almost right. But I hadn't spent 5 years tracking every cent. just to die quietly in someone else's spreadsheet. I didn't tell them what I was doing, I just did it. I called the bank, requested removal from all joint accounts, revoked access, closed cards, shut down the auto payments they forgot I even set up. Then I called a lawyer. Not a family friend, not someone who'd understand both sides. Someone with a desk full of estate law, fraud cases, and no holiday photos. I filed 3 things: 1, termination of financial guardianship; 2, removal from any verbal or assumed trust; 3, a legal clause stating, I no longer carry responsibility for the Bennett family, financially or otherwise. It wasn't dramatic. It was a signature, just one. Then a click. Then a file saved to cloud. Encrypted, no fanfare, no Zoom call, just silence. That night, for the first time in years, I cooked dinner without checking my account balance first. I didn't eat fast. I didn't check my phone. I just let the pasta go soft in warm sauce and let the faucet drip. One slow drop at a time, like something had finally stopped leaking. It came on a Tuesday. No subject line, just an email from a name I didn't recognize. Hey, Ivy. You don't know me, but I used to volunteer at Safe Harbor. Back when your name was still on the donor list. I kept reading. There were weeks we didn't have enough for blankets, or the city cut funding again. And then suddenly, boom, a transfer cleared. Every time, like magic, someone said it was a grant. Someone else said a board member stepped in. But I knew it was you. You never showed up for photos, never asked for a plaque. You just kept showing up. With money and silence, I read it twice. Then a third time. No one in my family ever said thank you, not once. But here was a stranger who saw what I gave, even when I thought I was invisible. I didn't reply. I didn't need to, because for the first time, someone noticed the leak. I spent 5 years plugging, with pieces of myself. It was spring. My new apartment still smelled like fresh paint and cardboard. I was coming home from work, shoes muddy, keys in hand, when I saw her, Aunt Lynn, sitting on the bench near the bakery across the street. Same scarf, same pearls, same practiced smile. She waved like we were old friends. I almost kept walking, but I didn't. I stopped. She looked me up and down. You look well, she said. I am. There was a pause, then she asked it, like she wasn't sure if she was joking or not. Would you ever consider setting something up again, for emergencies? I smiled, not cruel, not angry, just done. I did, I said. It's called my future. And I walked away, didn't look back, didn't wait for her to call after me. Because the door wasn't closing. It had already closed. They just never noticed they were on the other side. It's been a year, since the message, since the Zoom call, since the voicemail at 3:11 a.m. that said, "You're tearing this family apart." They still send things. A Christmas photo. A birthday email from Megan that ends with, "If you ever want to reconnect, we could use help with rent." I don't reply, not out of bitterness, but because I no longer write checks to buy silence. These days, I sleep through the night. I don't flinch when my phone buzzes. I don't calculate how much I can afford to give without breaking. I still check my credit score. Not because I'm scared, but because for the first time it belongs to me. No hidden debt, no joint accounts. No emergency requests wrapped in guilt, just clean numbers and clean air. But the real change, it's not in the account. It's in me, because I stopped waiting for something they were never capable of giving: permission, recognition, peace. Now I don't need any of it. I gave myself the one thing they never could, a life that's mine, and quiet that stays quiet. Even when I say no, especially when I say no.